In this video, we're going to focus on the run stitch tool, and I just want to point out that you might want to go back and watch the videos on creating lines and shapes using the artwork tool, because it's pretty much the same. The way you use the run stitch is exactly the same as how you create lines using the artwork tool, and you can't always convert the artwork to a run stitch. I just wanted to point that out. So if you see on the screen here, I need to actually go to the right file here. I have a few designs here, and these incorporate straight lines, kind of curves, and a combination of straight and curve. And the reason I did this is because there's a couple things you need to know how to do when you're working with kind of going around curves. And so let's go ahead and just take a look at the run stitch and how to create stuff. The first thing I'm going to do is going to focus on this. In the previous video, I talked about the two different ways that you can use the digitizing tools. One where it's a standard mode, where the software will automatically put a start point, end point in for you, or an advanced mode that once you create the line and you right mouse click to generate it, the stitches, it gives you the option to choose the start point and end point. And I said in that video I like to work off of the standard for the most part, and so that's what digitizing mode I will be in this video. So I'm going to click this icon right here. It's also located up top here. This is for the digitizing tools, and this is the run stitch right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to go ahead and click on the color orange here. Actually, I'll do like a green. I want to be able to see it. Maybe this pink here. What you can start anywhere you want in the design, and a lot of times I go to a corner. I don't know why, I just do. So I'm going to go ahead and click here, and all you do is you left mouse click to create a straight line, and you just click around the entire shape to create a running stitch, and it's pretty simple to work with. And in this video, we are not going to focus on what you can do to edit or modify the run stitches. We're really going to be focused on just creating the stitches, and I'll show you a basic couple things. But when I get to this point, I like to go over here and close the shape, because I like it to be closed off. So that makes sure that it closes as it's all one object that is a closed shape. And so if I come in here and turn on the 3D mode, you can see those stitches are there. And you can see that I didn't get it quite in that corner. Not a big deal. We'll edit that in the editing section for working with these manual stitch tools. But the basic thing that most people will do with a run stitch after they create it, this is a simple straight line one, is come over here to the properties box and focus on the stitch length. Typically on a run stitch like this, I might do a 3 to a 3.5 and hit apply. I like to use a little bit longer of a stitch length if I can. When you're working with straight lines, it's a little easier to have a higher stitch length. And that's how you create straight lines. It's just left mouse clicking. There's nothing to it. You just trace. It's like tracing like you used to do. And growing up, you would put a piece of paper on top of another that had an image on it, and you just kind of trace around it. It's kind of a similar thing when it comes to digitizing. You're just creating the shapes. Let's go ahead and zoom out here. And now let's go ahead and take a look at this one right here. Now this one is a little bit different because it has a lot of curves. So I'm going to show you a couple things here. It's similar to what I did in the creating artwork. So if I click on this tool, I'm going to start in a corner as well. I'm not going to start in the middle of a curve. I'm going to start where two lines kind of start going a different direction from each other. And it's just something that I like to do. So when you're working with curves, the only difference is I need to drop a point, just left clicking. I need to come up here, and now I can hold down the control button as I click, and what this is going to do is it's going to actually create a curve. Can you see that? How it just kind of follows curve. You can't go too far. When I get to here, I'll left click again, but whenever you start changing direction, this is very important. You have to release the control button, and you need to drop a point pretty close to the last one you made here. And otherwise, what will happen is, I'll just show you. If I held down control and I clicked it again, notice that it curves that line. That's not what I want. I want a straight line coming in and out of there. So I'm going to hit backspace. I'm going to hold down control and get to this one. But instead of holding down control now, I'm just going to do a quick little stitch close to it. I'm just going to do a left mouse click. And now I can come around and I can hold down control and go around this shape. And it's going to give me the look that I want right here. So it's important, you have to drop that stitch whenever you start changing a direction. You've got to drop a little stitch without the control key if you've been using a curve. Okay, so let me just go around this design a little bit more, and I'll grab that run stitch, and I do one click. I'm not holding down control yet. Now I'll hold down control for the second, and I'll go all the way to the end where it starts changing direction, and now I'm going to release the control key. And I did right click, and I probably shouldn't have, but I'm going to release that click. I'll do that one more time. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have right clicked, but I'm holding down control, going around. I get to this point, I click that, still holding control. Now I'm going to go a little bit further, release the control key, drop a little stitch, so that it knows that I'm changing a direction, and now I can hold down control and keep going. So I'll keep going here, and I'll get to this point, and then now I'm going to release the control key, drop a little point here. Now I can hold it down again and click around this curve shape. Again, I'm going all the way. I'm even holding down control for that one. Now I release it, drop a stitch without control being pressed. And now I'll hold down control and click the rest of them. So it just takes practice, and it's not difficult. It's just you have to know that if you're going to change a direction, if you've been using a curve holding down control key, you're going to need to drop that little stitch there without holding control down. And that's going to allow you to get that look you want. Now, if I was doing a shape like this, the way that I would actually create something that had a lot of curves in it like this is I would just come here and I would just draw a line across it. And basically what the method is here is if I know that I could kind of bend a line that in this shape, I will just go and click where an intersection takes place, where the curve starts going a different direction. So I can come across here, and you'll see how this is. This one right here, I probably won't be able to bend the entire shape the way I want to, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to just come straight down, and I'm only clicking where a transition takes place, where the line changes a direction, as you can see here. So on this one, what I'll do is I'll just close it, and what you'll see is this run stitch, and you're like, okay, well, that isn't the shape at all. But with the software, I can click on the shape edit, or I can click right here for shape edit, and you can see my cursor when I get close to that line, it has a bend line shape. Well, I can just click and drag this up, and notice that I didn't get all the way to the edge, but I have these handlebars here that it takes a little bit of practice to get used to this, but you can just click and drag those. Some of them should do pretty good. I might be able to get a couple of them where I won't have to drag it. Like go right here, I probably will be able to just do that right there. This one you'll see will take a little bit more effort, and that's because of the shape of that curve. But it's not difficult to do. You just go back and forth just a little bit, and you can get it to go right around that shape. Again, this one I might have to drag it a little bit. But the only reason that I do it this way a lot of times is because it creates a very clean line. And I do a lot of vinyl. In vinyl, it's very important to get the lines really clean. So a lot of times I'll be doing like applique, and I'll actually cut the fabric out. So I'll definitely want it as clean as I can make it. And so you can see that by doing that and coming back here, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points or nodes. If I went the other way, I'd have a bunch of them, and which is okay. It's not, you don't have to do it this way. But what a lot of times I will do is I'll do a combination of the two. So I will come in here and I might drop one right here and then right here, because you saw how I couldn't just keep going around. Like I had to do the handlebars quite a bit. If I drop one, a little bit along the curve here, it'll make that much easier to kind of bend around. This one I didn't have to. I'll just show you really quick what I'm talking about. So by dropping one every so often when you have like a pretty strong curve, now I can just come right in and I can drag it, and I don't have to move those handlebars like at all. See how that works? And that's just a little trick that I've learned, over time, just by doing this so much. I kind of have an idea of if I will be able to bend it all the way around, because I don't want to grab those handlebars and move them if I don't have to. This is actually right there is much faster than just holding down control and going all the way around it. Just dropping a couple points there, and it's really clean. So I just wanted to show you that really quick. So let's take a look at this one. And on this one right here, we have some curves and we have some straight lines. And I'm going to do it the traditional way. You saw how I can bend it. I won't do that anymore, although I would do that quite a bit on this design. But I'm going to start it right here. Again, I'm in a kind of a corner area. And I'm going to hold down control and just go around because I need to curve this line. And again, it's changing direction, so now I'm releasing control. I'm dropping a stitch right here without holding control. Now I'm grabbing control and I'm clicking and going around the shape. And I'm releasing control, dropping one. I'll show you what happens. If I hold down control here and I go all the way over to here, you can see it doesn't follow that shape very closely. So that's just something you have to practice with, is knowing about how far you can go to maintain going right around the edge. So now I'm releasing control because I'm changing direction. I'm going to drop a stitch, and now I'm going to press down control again and start going around this shape. Get to here, same thing. Now I'm releasing the control, but I can go all the way down to here and just click. And then I'm going to left click again. I'm not going to hold down control yet, because if I hold down control, it's going to bend this entire line right here. Watch what happens. If I hold control down, it bends that line. I don't want that, right? So I need to drop a stitch. Go back and just delete that right here so that I can start curving. And again, this is just practice. You can use these same shapes. I'm using the custom shapes that come with the software. Release control, drop a stitch there, come all the way up. These are straight lines. I need to drop a stitch. But yeah, I'm using custom shapes. So these are all things that come with the software. And so you can use these same vector artwork files to, I'm going to close this because it'll close all the way up to there. You can use these same ones. So that's going around doing straight and curves. So custom shapes being right here. So when I click on that, I'm in Easy Art, I just go to custom shapes, and all of these shapes are ones that I pick from here. So these are great to use to practice. So let's go ahead and zoom out. And this one is the same thing. It's just holding down control. I'll start here. Holding down control as I go around. And I'm not getting it perfect. Release it. Drop a stitch. Now hold down control again. Come into here. Release. Drop a stitch. Now hold down control. Go around. It's not that difficult to do. Probably the hardest thing is knowing about how far you can go. Release the control. Hold control. How far you can go before you need to click again. And that's the trick. It just takes time. So you can see how I can go around that. That's utilizing the run stitch. And like I said, a lot of what we do is change the stitch length and a couple of other controls. But there's going to be a video. I'll probably work on this one right here. There'll be a video. I undid it. You can see that. That shows how to edit this. So that'll be in the next video. So hope that this was helpful to you on creating a run stitch. In the next one, we're going to focus on the steel satin stitch.